Yeah, it feels so good to be here with you all. I mean, this diehard fan and family, I mean, we feel it all in this room. The legends who made Rock 101 KLOL more than just a radio station. It was a soundtrack, it was a movement. For a young woman, that was really powerful. So to this day, it marks a really special place in my heart. KLOL wasn't just my station though, it was my mom's station's first, as I stated. She had the KLOL pin, which is somewhere in a box at home. So when I stepped into that world, it felt like I was carrying forward something bigger than me. And that was each and every one of you. The love that you had for that radio station was like no other. I will never forget watching Outlaw Dave in the studio, a real pro, yeah, no, for real, brutally honest, direct, witty as heck. I mean, running the board like not many people can. His personality, so much larger than life, and it carries on to this very moment. The station gave space for that kind of authenticity. Walking the halls of KLOL, you could feel the energy, not just vibrating off of Dave from every portion and every corner of the studio, but stories that floated around like folklore, and you knew you were part of something special, something that would last. I mean, I said I was Miss Rockware in 2003, and the station was a hit years before me, so that tells you a big something. That's what KLOL did. It built a family. We had DJs, the concerts, the outrageous contests, the bumper stickers on every car in Houston. You didn't just listen to KLOL, you actually lived it. It was rebellious, it was wild, and it was ours. And that's why tonight matters, because KLOL deserves to be remembered, it deserves to be documented, and celebrated. And for that, we owe a huge thanks to Mike McGuff. Thank you so much. And for carrying enough to tell our story, to make sure future Houstonians know what real rock radio looked like, sounded like, and felt like. You've given this city an absolute gift. So for everyone here tonight, whether you've lived in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, right up to the end, thank you so much, because it's like golden in this room. Bands like you made KLOL. So thank you.
Thank you very much, very nice.
This Rockware 2003.
You remember that? This, just give me 10 seconds. I got here 2001, 2002, and I walked through the halls of Clear Channel back in the day, and I see, the gods of, I don't get if it was Weaver, and Dana, and just, Grego and Pruitt and Boner. And then this cat who I've never met. And here I am, I'm just talking about geeky technology, stuff like that, and his voice, and I am just scared as you know what of this thing. Turns out he's just a little bit intimidating in my mind. He really is, to this day, the voice of what's going on. He's got the most distinguishable voice. It's unbelievable. He is, as I say, OD, ladies and gentlemen, Outlaw freaking Dave. You are the best, man.
Like she said, it was a family, and it was Mother's family. And for those of you that are old enough to remember the beginning, the inception back in 1970, Mike did such a great job of telling the origin story of KLOL. The station that I grew up listening to over in Spring Branch, and listening to people like Jim Pruitt, Tony Raven, I think was his air name, and Crash Collins, and Dana Steele, and getting to hear all that. And ultimately Moby ended up on that station, and to be able to work there at that iconic building in Montrose, crime-free Montrose, and to be there with Colonel St. James, and to be there with Stevens and Pruitt, and even Crash Collins would swing by and say hi. The idea that the radio station was the guide on for the community. Obviously in the 70s it was a different sense in the streets, and the freak power and the liberation and the world that we were going through at that time. It was important, and I think in the film Mike does a great job chronicling not just KLOL but all the other iconic rock stations across the country that brought those communities together, and that's what KLOL always was, community. Now, those of you who remember the fateful day, November 12th, 2004,
do we have to talk
when they shot that horse out from underneath me for corporate radio, blah, 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 blah. And I speak about that in the film. I truly believe that the mission of KLOL, up until the end, was as vibrant and vital as it had always been. Fiscally, it wasn't as profitable, but the ratings were there. I mean, Much to their chagrin, after they blew up the station, they still had to give me a performance bonus, and they were not happy about that. I didn't leave Houston because of familiar obligations, and I stayed here. And those of you hopefully know that I've returned to Rock Radio, and I'm on Houston's Eagle now. In the morning, Dean and Rock retired, I stepped in. But while I was filling that time, I did a whole bunch of projects. I served the community, I continue to do that, but one of the things I did was refurb one of Houston's original ice houses down at the headwaters of Washington Avenue, and it was Outlaw Dave's worldwide headquarters. And I'm bringing this up because my roommate from college, Michael Fulmer, who was a film major, said, "Dave, film is forever." So when I filmed, now when you see the film, there's a moment where you see me with my short hair and I'm dancing in the studio. That's me in my prime. When you see the interview that I did from my bar, that's 3 years in an ice house. We're deep frying everything we can. You get a kitchen, you get the deep fry stuff. We're drinking whiskey all night. I'm doing my show from Michael Berry's bringing people by. So that's me doing my Vince Neil impersonation of the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red. You'll see it. You're like, damn, Dave. But
We all want to know, what did you do with your hair? You chopped it all up.
so after I sold the bar, I did a downtown festival, and no one will give you $1 million unless you already have $1 million if you have long hair. So I had to clean it up and go in there and be like, hey man, I need $1 million to do this thing downtown, which thanks to the pandemic, also went down the drain. So I've returned to the only thing I've ever been good at, being Jennifer Reyna's friend, being an affiliate with Michael Garfield, and doing radio. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow morning on 106.9, 107.5 for your morning drive. Follow me on Facebook, Outlaw Dave Show. I'm always out there. The street team's here, big city, Rose Rocks. If you would hang out with, you know my crew.
You have been a great friend, not just to me, but to this city. I swear, when I hear your voice, it just takes me back to any year, any of those years. It was like, KLOL, dude, you're
I love
awesome.
you. And I love all of you. And I love you for letting me do this. And my wife for letting me go to work every day. Yes.
She has got to be
so
understanding.
while you're talking, I have one more surprise.
She has one more surprise, because I'm going to ask
She
a
said
question
it
or
was
two.
a
I swear we're going to get this thing rolling before Yom Kippur's over. We're going to get this
I'm
thing
sorry.
going.
I know.
I'm hungry. Let's go. What? Tonight.
Okay.
All right, don't worry about it. So she's got a surprise coming.
We're going to the party later. Right?
Exactly, yeah. Don't fry anything for me
All
tonight.
right,
What
do you
is
know
this?
what this is?
Oh, is this what I think it is?
Well, some diehard fans in the audience might know what it is.
I'm thinking 2003. I don't even know who the photographer was, but I'll never forget your hair. It was so awesome. Your eyes shone through. Ladies and gentlemen,
Puts Farrah Fawcett to shame.
that's where it began, right there.
Look at you. No airbrush needed whatsoever.
Okay.
Look at that.
Anyway, good times, great memories. But Outlaw Dave really has all of the awesome stories. So again, thank you for capturing that. And thank you for carrying on the tradition and the family moment with us. Enjoy the film. Runaway Contract.
Dave, you talk about you grew up in Spring Branch and you listened to this. Was this the radio station that said, this is what I want to do in life? Did you want to do anything else? What got you into the
So
radio
I
itself?
wanted to do radio, but then push came to shove, high school. I didn't have money for college, so I joined the Army. And I asked my recruiter, can I be on Armed Forces Radio? He goes, yes, sure. You just tell them when they deploy you that you're supposed to be on the radio. So I went to signal school, and I got shipped out to East Germany, and I go, hey, I'm supposed to be on Armed Forces Europe. And they laughed. And so the long story is, the dream went away, only to be realized years later at U of H. Go Cougs.
Do you remember the crazy stuff was Rockware, how big it was, and then obviously bringing her in and really discovering her? I mean, what do you have any recollections, not only from you, but also on your first thoughts?
So people loved her, and it wasn't like, oh, you're gonna have Miss Rockware come by. We always did, and there was poster signings. She came, she charmed the entire station, and then she stayed. And we're like, okay, don't ask her to leave, and maybe she won't. And she didn't. I mean, she stayed, she hung out, she became a part of all of our promotions and part of our crew, and she was family, just like all the rest of you guys are.
You guys made it easy. I mean, it was like embraced right away. Dave was so fun. It was just addicting.
Your mom listened to this, as you said many times, right?
Yes.
What did your mom think of you being Miss Rockware and on her station?
Dave met her, and darn near had heart palpitations.
Moms love me. Moms love me. Your
My mom
loves
was
me.
wild. I don't
Your mom
even
loves
think
me.
she thought it was real. I mean, what do you
But
remember?
it felt like that. So when you would go to the radio station, when I first started working there, this is a station I grew up, and I'm like, I'm excited to be here. And Steve and Bert were like, yeah, okay, who's the new guy? And they just kept going. And finally, later, they let me hang out. But yeah, I mean, it was magical to be there. I remember as a kid driving down there, hearing Tom Petty on the radio, and driving around Leavitt Boulevard waiting for him to walk out and getting to see him, on the street. Here's Tom Petty. So this was our life, and it was real. It was like that movie American Graffiti where the guy goes down and Wolfman Jack pretends like he's just the board op. Well, we were the board ops.
See, and I had to live vicariously through those stories because Dave was there many years before me, and so were Jim Pruitt and Dana. They all were. So I came at the very tail end, and I'm
But
just
they
glad.
had those stories like what Steve Ray Vaughan hitting his head on the speaker, and Ike and Tina Turner, and they had all these great stories. Sam Kennison, Bill Hicks, Andrew Dice. I mean, everybody came to the studio. You had to go by KLOL. From rock stars to comedians to Jeff Bagwell, I remember Caminetti and Biggio, and we all got in trouble at the barbecue cook-off. I think we were banned for 5 years because of that. Nothing that they did.
Only you. 22 years ago. Jennifer, let's go to you. We know what you do now. The city does. You are incredibly talented. Now you're on TV. You're on CBS. Everything, and obviously you were on NBC. I mean, you've got a TV career. What did the Ms. Rock wear when that started? How did that help your career and give it a boost?
I mean, I think it was just ad-libbing every day with Dave, getting the bite of radio, which, later I was like, okay, I saw a real pro make it look like it wasn't work. Who doesn't want a job like that? And then it just carried right over to television,
You were a natural. I mean, if we had cameras in the studio, we would have already been viral.
No,
We weren't
it was
doing
back
that
in the
stuff.
day.
Right.
No cameras.
I want your
Do you
age.
have a picture on your hip?
I want your agent because he's done very well here. She's been very well for you. I still need that thing. Last question or two before we're going to start this off. And I asked this last time, but when Dana and Boner and Doug Harris, everybody was here, and you've already mentioned it, the stars that came through that studio. Name one or two that you were just awestruck, each of you that you met that you still remember. And we could be here for an hour and a half, but who blew you away?
My favorite, I got to meet all my heroes. I got to meet them all. But my favorite, Sammy Hagar.
Nice.
I love Sammy Hagar.
Red Rocker, very
Red
nice.
Rocker.
Good. Are you still in touch with him? You did that got his digits?
Yeah, I would walk up and he wouldn't recognize me because I don't have the Sammy Hagar here anymore.
Exactly,
He'd be
yeah.
like, "Who's this weird guy?" In fact, I think there's a picture online where I'm standing in the backstage waiting to say hi to him, and you can tell that nobody's recognizing me. And I'm like,
But you've done everything for him. He's done nothing from you. And for you. Is there more?
Dave has all the stories.
You don't need that one person that you met back in the day. You remember anybody coming in?
Lenny Kravitz?
I
The
think
Black
it was.
Crowes.
It was in the bus with 3 doors down.
Oh, for New Year's Eve when it was
No,
freezing.
we were up in the woodlands.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
We hung out with them a lot.
It was
I
like,
like Brad,
oh yeah,
and
come
prayers,
in our
prayers to
tour
Brad
bus.
Arnold,
It
who's
was
still
like,
battling.
it was like, come in our tour bus. Oh, I was like, oh, okay. Like nothing. I'm like, oh,
I'm not falling
out
for
there.
that Brett Michaels again.
But these are the great stories that you're about to see. And Mike, runtime of this movie is
82 minutes.
82 minutes. And so I can't thank you enough. And I want a massive one more round of applause for OD and Jennifer Reyna. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. We congratulate one more time Mike McGuff and also Jeff Brown and everybody. What a great